Gone are the days of just tuk-tuk scams and cheap suits. Now it's fake jobs, hacked Wi-Fi, and fake hotel bookings cleaning you out. But the worst one by far, it involves your heart, your wallet, and someone named Ice who's definitely not in love with you. So if you're planning a trip to Thailand, make sure you stick around because you are gonna need protection. And no, I'm not talking condoms. Insert cliche YouTube intro here. Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're coming to Thailand soon, we're gonna talk about some recent and new scams that have come to light so that way you don't lose all your money and you don't get a bad taste in your mouth. Okay, thank you so much. Like and subscribe. Okay, hopping right into it. The one thing everybody is gonna need if you're planning on visiting Thailand is you're gonna need a visa, of course. Now, if you don't know, the visa landscape in Thailand can be a bit hectic at times. Things are changing a lot. So it could be really easy to say, hey, I kinda wanna just pay somebody and just have all my stuff taken care of, which is doable sometimes. But recently there has been a huge rise in just straight up fake visa programs, visa agents, you name it. Last year in Phuket, there was a visa agent that had been taking money from, I'm pretty sure it was like hundreds of people, had been taking money for extensions, education visas, you name it. And essentially what ended up happening is this lady was doing nothing. She was just holding everybody's passport, taking everybody's money, and then she did a runner. And this of course ends up bad for two reasons. If you're already in Thailand, something like this happens and you end up overstaying, you are liable for that, whether you got scammed or not. Or if your plane lands in Thailand, you come to the immigration window and come to find out you don't have a visa. So how do you avoid this? Well, if you're applying for a visa before you're coming to Thailand, make sure you're going through all the proper portals. Make sure you are on the legitimate Thai immigration website. Now, if you're already in Thailand, yes, there are legitimate agents that can make the whole process a bit more simple for you. It is just very important to vet these people, look for reviews, ideally get a recommendation from somebody who's been here for a while. That way you can make sure you're actually getting what you pay for. Now, moving into our next scam, a trend you're gonna see throughout this video is the power of AI. Just like any other technology, the wrong people will find a way to use it for evil. And a scam I have seen on the rise in the past year or so are people using AI to pull off phishing scams. And that's phishing with a PH, essentially making fake websites or sending out fake voicemails, fake text messages. They'll be acting like a bank or some type of government agency, or I've even seen utility providers like Wi-Fi, electricity. Essentially what's gonna happen is they're gonna send you an email, or they're gonna leave you a voicemail, or they're gonna send you a text message. They're gonna tell you there's some type of fee you need to pay. They're gonna give you a link hoping you will go and not only pay those fees, but when you do, that's where the phishing comes in. Go to these websites, you enter all your banking information. Now they've got that too. Easiest way to avoid this is of course, just don't click any links you're not sure about. Of course, don't go to some random website and put in your credit card information. But 9 times out of 10, if you're getting a message or an email from a random phone number email, it's more than likely a scam. And yet another tech scam that has for sure been on the rise over the past year or two has to do with public Wi-Fi and essentially just data harvesting. What's happening is these groups or individuals are setting up in very busy areas, common tourist hotspots. They're setting up unsecured Wi-Fi accounts. That way when you log in, God forbid you go through one of your banking apps or a website where you're gonna put in personal information, they're just gonna sit there, they're gonna collect all of that, and they're gonna use your information to either sell it to spam callers, or they're gonna actually go in and try to access your funds. Now, this type of scam has been a thing in America for quite some time, but over the past year or two, I've been seeing more articles about it happening here. When it comes to Thailand, Thailand is very up to date when it comes to Wi-Fi. There's not really anywhere you're gonna be where a secured, safe network isn't available. Restaurants, cafes, coffee shops, they pretty much all have Wi-Fi nowadays. A VPN can also help a bit, but most of the times if you're on an unsecured network, there are all kinds of ways to get around a VPN. I don't think that girl on Insta messaged you back, so you might as well just wait until you get back to the hotel. Okay, now we're getting into some things that can be quite a bit more serious. The most messed up part about these is they are targeting people before they come to Thailand. A lot of times they are targeting people or demographics that might be less well off and are really looking for opportunity. Essentially what'll happen is they'll go on all these job listing sites for all kinds of different countries. They'll say, hey, if you come to Thailand, we've got this job for you where you're gonna be able to make this much amount of money, blah, blah, blah. And then the visa talk comes up. And essentially what is happening is they will say that of course you need a work visa to do these things. They'll request the payment for the visa, you send the money across, and then lo and behold, you're blocked on everything and they disappear. A really easy way to avoid this, especially when it comes to Thailand, is you should go and look up what jobs are foreigners actually allowed to work while in Thailand. There are quite a few industries that are just restricted to Thais, and if you're a foreigner here, you cannot work those jobs. If you know those, it can be really easy to kind of narrow down what job listings are obviously bogus, because a lot of the time, like we said, they're targeting people who might be less well off. So a lot of them are entry-level type jobs, unskilled labor, and a lot of that is restricted for Thai people. So if you're online, maybe you want to come spend a year in Thailand and you're looking to make some money while you're here, make sure you study what jobs you're actually allowed to work. And that will also save you trouble when you do actually get here, because there are people who are essentially hiring for real jobs, but it's actually illegal for you to work those jobs. Of course, if immigration or the police find out, you are the one being held liable. Now, our next scam is actually one that's given me a bit of anxiety right now, because I'm getting ready to go to the Philippines next month, and something that has been happening more and more. I've seen a ton of articles in the past 6 months or so. That has to do with fake hotel or just accommodation listing. This one's pretty straightforward. You'll go, you'll see a hotel listed somewhere. You'll go ahead, you'll book, you'll pay for your booking, and then you show up at this place, and lo and behold, either it doesn't exist or they don't have a booking for you. Now, you might be saying to yourself, of course, if you're on Facebook and you see a hotel, it's very liable that it's fake. But one thing that has been happening, even with these trusted listing websites like Agoda, is there have been fake listings on there. Once again, with AI generated images, and these listings are just flat not real. And then since you're using a third-party website, getting your money back ends up being this whole nightmare. Now, in all fairness, Agoda has taken note of this, and they are implementing some rules to make this harder to do. That is one thing you definitely need to be careful of. A good way to avoid this is to just cross-reference different listings. One, if you're on a booking website, you find this hotel, they almost always have the location, all that stuff, so you can go on to Google Maps, check it, make sure the locations map up, check the comments, the reviews. The best way to figure out if this is real or not is to just cross-reference across multiple platforms. Now, that's not guaranteed. Any good scammer that took their time would find a way to spoof this, but what I've found personally is they pretty much always focus on one platform. Now, this next scam is one that really just grinds my gears. I take it personally because it's essentially trying to take advantage of people who have good hearts, people that just want to help and they want to, give to the less fortunate. And how this has been happening recently is people just setting up fake organizations or taking donations for things that don't exist. I've actually encountered this a couple times in the past few months here in Pattaya, and I can't guarantee that these people weren't actually taking donations for a real cause, but I was out and about, I was down on the beach, and they just came up to me randomly and had like a little printed out card for something and just a bucket. To me, that seems pretty suspect. Now, granted, a lot of the times if you go to the big grocery stores or maybe at the mall, they'll have people set up out front, but it's pretty easy to tell that these look much more official. Everybody's got uniforms, they've got a bunch of pictures. If you're worried about this, a good way is to just avoid them altogether. Or if it is a cause you're really passionate about, you can kind of do the same thing that we do with the fake bookings. Just go on to multiple websites, cross-reference as much as you can. It's like when the homeless guy who's obviously strung out comes up to you and asks for money for food. You offer to buy him food, and then he yells at you and says, just give me money. I feel like a lot of the time that would pretty much be the case, but it is something to be aware of. Now, this next one is really scary because I thought about it, and I thought to myself, okay, if I was in that position, what would I do? And even with knowing that this is a scam that does happen, I'm still kind of inclined to think that I might get caught by it, especially in party districts like here in Pattaya or Bangkok. Man, people are out and about. They want to have some fun. They might be looking for some illicit substances. And what will happen is a random person will approach you. They'll give you whatever you're looking for, and then lo and behold, a little bit later, you've got police coming up to you and saying, if you don't pay us, we're gonna take you to jail. And the thing about it is, what's been happening is these police are in on the scam. You've been set up from the jump. They've probably given you fake whatever, and now you're screwed. Now, it is possible that this could play out multiple different ways because undercover police are for sure a thing in Thailand, and a lot of the time that's the type of stuff they're targeting. So it is possible if you're a dum-dum and you go out and you take something from a random person and then the police approach you, it's very possible, probably even likely, that they are real police. And if you try to pay them, it's probably gonna end up really bad for you. Now, how do you avoid this? It's pretty easy. One, you just don't take those things from that random person in the first place. But this is not the only situation where this has happened. There was another instance in Bangkok where a guy was going around, he had a fake uniform, and essentially he was just waiting for foreigners to like drop a cigarette butt or something like that, and then he would go up and extort them for money. This is another one of those situations where I feel like most of the time it would be very easy to tell. In all my interactions, Thailand police have been very official. They tell you exactly what's going on. If you were wondering about whether this was a legitimate stop or not, just be sure to ask the officers for some ID. If you are being hassled by somebody that you do not believe is a real officer, if they refuse to show you ID, anything like that, I would highly suggest to call the tourist police at 1155. So be quick to report those people. And by far, the scam that I see people falling for the most. Now, granted, this isn't something that has just popped up in the last year or so, but the amount of effort and the tools to make it happen have for sure grown exponentially in the past year or so. Here in Thailand, they've been referring to it as the pig butchering scam. And I'll let you in on a little insight. If you get caught up in this, you are the pig. Once again, back to AI. And what this pig butchering is essentially people will go online, they'll go on dating apps, they'll go on Facebook, they'll go on Instagram, and they will create an entire person, and then they'll create an entire girl that is not even real. None of it. They used to have to go and take pictures of girls from other places and then use those pictures. So you could just take that picture and do an image search on it, and you could see really easily if this was fake or not. They will just create an entire fake person. They'll be on these dating apps. Once again, they will pull at your heartstrings, these guys who are lonely all over the world, and they'll be committed to the scam for months. The good ones, they don't come out right away and start trying to squeeze you for money. They build a relationship first, and then after a couple months, lo and behold, her brother's sick and they need money for the hospital, or she's got to pay her school tuition, or she doesn't have money for food. And a lot of the things you could before use as kind of proof, okay, we'll hop on a FaceTime. Pretty easy to tell if this is the girl I'm talking to. Now even that isn't real proof. They have live avatars where I could sit here in front of you and use an AI program to change me into whoever. They have voice changers. Of course, they can edit any photos for anything. So guys, just trust me. If you meet a girl online, no matter how much she sweet talks you and no matter how much you believe that she is real, you have to operate under the assumption that she is not. And a lot of the time, the person you're probably talking to is doubtfully even in Thailand and is more than likely not a girl at all. If it's somebody you've never met, never transfer money, don't share bank details, don't send any crypto. If she's been love bombing you, then all of a sudden she knows a crazy good crypto app, congratulations, you are talking to a scammer. And the reality is, a year from now, the landscape for everything that we've talked about today is gonna change. These people are always on the move, going to the next thing or improving the scam they're already working. So you have to constantly trust your intuition. The vast majority of Thai people you meet on your trip are very honest, nice people, but if you just let your guard down completely, the dirtbags will take advantage. If you or someone you know is making a trip to Thailand soon, make sure you share this video with them so they know what's good and they don't get got. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much. You know what to do. If you want to see more, if you like the video, go ahead and click the like thing down there, and you can do it on your way out. All right, see ya. Bye-bye now.